there's a feeling that Jim has returned to his heroic roots.
Right.
In fact, in these first couple episodes back, it feels like this is the evolved version of the man we met in season 1.
Right.
He is back to his principles. He is back to fighting for his city.
Sure.
For you, and I'll get to all of you, but what have you learned from playing him?
I think I've learned how to try to grapple with the real world and maintain a sense of decency whenever possible. I don't do it as well as Gordon, but I also don't have to kill people. Literally, which is nice. You know, the best heroes fight real obstacles in the real world, and the attraction of Gotham has always been, from the first moments that I spoke with Bruno about it, that he's a grounded hero, and I didn't have to wear tights. That he fights real bad guys in a sort of larger-than-life world, but at the end of the day, he is, you know, Atlas with the weight of the world on his shoulders. He has to kind of fight the fight no matter what it is and try to maintain some sense of sanity. He doesn't actually always achieve that this year, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. But I also like that he's like, he got a pair.
Yeah.
Like, he'll pull the trigger now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so now let's talk about the young man sitting next to you, because David, I mean, come on. This kid, Babyface, when he started.
Yes.
Honestly, like, and now, what has it been like for you both and Sean to really have been there at the ground with this kid and to watch where he's gone?
One of my favorite stories about David was working with him on the first, I think it was the first day of shooting. And we were just sort of in between takes, and I was asking him, you know, what his favorite subject was in school. Assuming the average teenage boy, you know, I don't know what it would be, sports or something, and he said math. And I said, he's going to be just fine. And sure enough, he is. He's an incredible man, and it's been incredible to watch him mature in all the ways you wish your own children would mature if you were so lucky. And I'm deeply. I'm proud of him, and I'm excited to see what he does next.
And Sean and David, you guys were like the Instagram wars of who's going to make us cry harder. I'm like, what? Are they just watching Hallmark movies like in between shots? You guys, clearly, you know, you've worked probably the most together.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys have formed such a relationship. What can you tell us about where these two land by the end of the series, and what does it mean for you guys?
I think they get to the place that everyone hoped they would do. I mean, when we first started, they were sort of butting heads incessantly. And by the last episode, they get to the relationship that was always sort of destined to happen, which is the Alfred Dark Knight Bruce Wayne. Mm. You know, that's been the greatest honour, is to sort of be able to guide him, and he balks at it, and the journey to get there, but to actually end up as the closeness, the proximity they have with each other, the ease they have with each other. We get there by the final episode, because if we went a bit off the rails, we went a bit sort of, you know, a bit nasty.
Yeah.
Billionaire Bruce, you know, billionaire Bruce,
yeah.
the brat.
Yes.
I lost him for a while. He went to the dark side, and I have to say, sort of gales of distaste from our liturgy of sort of Twitter followers and stuff like that, saying, be nice to Alfred, hashtag, and stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah. But no, we get there, and that's what I'm so pleased about, that we've planted our flag in the sand now, and I think that people will look back at the 100 episodes, and this is this sort of decade, this period in history of the Batman universe. You know.
And David, what's it like to know, like, did you ever think you would get this close to the meeting points of young Bruce Wayne to Batman?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, most TV shows don't go past the pilot, you know? I had no idea we'd make it 100 episodes. I'm in constant shock at how easy and how amazing and seemingly perfect this job is every single time I come to it. I mean, it was really hard everyone asking me like, what's it like to grow up on TV? It has me thinking back to the first couple days on the show, the first couple of months were really hard for me because I had to move away from my family, 3,000 miles away from home. I left my dad, I left my sister, all my friends, my house, but I never felt alone. And that is 100% because of my second family sitting right here next to me.
Yeah, I know. And now I'm gonna bounce to Cameron, which could be a mess. You spoke at New York Comic Con about the stuff that you got to do this season was it was the most challenging that you've gotten, and seeing what goes on with this character in the first couple episodes, you weren't lying. Like this girl, like
I don't lie.
Yeah, but we do get to a point where we get you and David playing that dynamic that we know exists in the books. How exciting was it for you guys to actually get to play? I'm thinking of a specific scene in episode 3 that when you see it, it's the street fight. The street fight. Yeah. And like and it feels like you're watching the pages of a comic book come to life, but it's like the first issue of the comic book where they're both trying to be superheroes together. And
It's like, yeah.
How is that you guys finally got to actually do that stuff? Like instead of the teenager stuff and all this, like you're in it.
Not even teenager stuff, human stuff. I mean, everybody wants to be cool, you know? And like, I don't know, that day was really weird for me because at the time I didn't know that I had a broken foot. So I was doing that with a broken foot. That was fun. But I don't know, I mean, I really loved that scene because it really showed, I feel like the comic books really only focus on their differences and their duality in the dark space.
Right.
And I feel like their duality is, obviously what makes them, but when they work as a team and when they really use each other's differences to work together, it's magical. And that part where like, I don't know what I did, but I think Bruce said, "What do we do?" And she was in her zone because she was not sober, and you'll find out why. But she's in her zone, and she's like, you find the school's biggest bully, and you kick him in the face. And I looked at him. I was like looking at him over my shoulder, and then like we made that eye contact, and it was like, it's showtime. It's just it was really cool.
Yeah.
I felt that too.
Right? Right? Hey, see, it doesn't, the
And it was
connection
really,
doesn't lie.
every take, it was really nerve-wracking because I was like, okay, what do I have to do now? Oh yeah, grab this. Right.
Yeah, it's like, there are some times where, some scenes that we've had where it's like we both have to, like, he can tell when I'm like feeling some type of way and I can tell when he's feeling some type of way, and it's like, all right, let's zone in, we got this. And that moment before that scene, that was one of those moments for me where it was like, got you.
Nice.